the Bible accurate in all its teachings? Not too many people in the United States hold to that type of biblical worldview. We have a number of resources on table back here, educational in nature. Monumental is a video that explains our Christian heritage. And if you haven't seen it, it's a very solid explanation of where our country came from, what it's founded on.
It's a must see. If you haven't seen it, it's a must see.
That's why I'm here.
There's a number of other videos there that if you're not familiar with, that are very good. There's a series called The Truth Project, which helps one to understand God's order for different parts of our lives and how we should view those things. All those are free for your taking, to borrow those things, just to bring them back at the next meeting. There's a lot of good material there. We would encourage membership. There's a sign up in the back if you'd like to do that. Our next meeting will not be in December. We'll skip December. Our next meeting will be in January. The date hasn't been announced, but it's probably going to be about the third week in January. We'll get information out on that. So, again, thank you for coming this evening. And Nancy?
Chuck, you gave us 2 B's. You gave us really high.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got carried away with the be educated. Okay. After be educated, it's be informed. Now you have to be educated first to be able to be properly informed. So you need to know what's going on. A lot of things Tom talked about tonight. What are going on in the state and in politics. Fourth, be involved. Be involved with what's going on locally in your local communities, in the county, what's going on with things like Agenda 21 perhaps. There was a meeting, I think, this afternoon.
Yeah, 1 o'clock, NUSCC had their board meeting down in Akron, so I'm sure everybody was able to attend that in the middle of the day.
And number 5, be bold. As Tom said, have courage. So be praying, be educated, be informed, be involved, and then be bold with what you know to be the truth. So, Dale, you have
Okay, just a couple of things.
commercial?
Yeah, a couple things. If you don't mind. Today's also United Gettysburg, 150th anniversary. Anybody else know what else it is today?
Day after my birthday.
Garfield, 182nd birthday, James Garfield. So, and as you know, and I think Tom knows me, that I do ask you to join the party. So almost every meeting I go to, I say, anybody who wants to be a precinct committee person, please let me know. We'd love to have you. How many do we have in the room? We have a bunch. So we appreciate that. So please join the party. We do have a platform. And we're pretty darn proud of our platform. And the Republican National Committee platform and our own Lake County platform. And so we're pretty proud of that. And we're pretty proud of our elected officials too, because we do, I believe what Tom mentioned, is we elect good, honest people. And when we haven't, we take them out. And we replace them. And that's makes me pretty proud to do that. 2 other quick things. Patriot Voices, which is Rick Santorum's group that we've continued to keep alive. I'm one of the co-chairs of that. Christmas Candle is a movie that's out this week, and Rick Santorum is urging and encouraging everybody to go and see that. The preview is this weekend, so take a look in your movie theater rundown and see when it is, and I encourage everybody to try and do that. And one last thing, being a history buff, I've been asked to try and organize a trip to Colonial Williamsburg. Anybody who wants to try and do, we're going to try and do it in May. And so if anybody's interested in going, let me know. And give Tom another round of applause. He's a great man.
anybody wants to ask Tom any questions, also Jeremiah Martin is here from Concerned Veterans for America, and he's going to be he's the local representative in this area, and so if you'd like to talk to Tom or Jeremiah as well.
I just have a question for Tom. You mentioned Virginia. The Libertarian took 7% of that vote. And there were some rumblings that maybe the Democrats supported the Libertarian with money or things of that
They
sort.
did.
Do you know anything about that?
Well, here's the other part of that. The studies that I've seen show that everyone thinks that, well, geez, if he didn't run, all 7% of that would have went to Cuccinelli. But that's not true. At least half of it, they either would have not voted or they would have voted for the Democrats. A lot of those were young people. The Libertarians have a lot of young people. They weren't going to vote, for Cuccinelli no matter what, because of his stand on some of the social issues and things. So again, that's the thing they're trying to get you to believe. Well,
I
those
didn't get
third
that.
parties will
That's
wreck
my
the
own.
whole thing.
That's
Those
my
third
own.
parties will wreck the thing. I got news for you, man. I've been in business for 26 years, and I've been in some business deals where I owned 40% of the stock, and he owned 40% of the stock, and you owned 20. The most important person was you with the 20. You don't have to take it over. If we could get 18 to 20 legislators in the House, and even 4 or 5 Senate people who are for a third party, where both parties would have to work with them to get something done, we'd have a lot better governance. Look at Israel, look at some of these other places. This whole idea that the only way you can do is a two-party system, to me, it stands on its own, record. Stand on your own record, okay? So that's what they tell you to try to get you to not support them. And that's why I said that you're going to have independents elect a person like that, okay, a third-party candidate, all right, and then, then once that person is in governance and they see that he stands by his values and principles, I think people would move that party, okay? So I think that's why that has to play out. I'll tell you right now, you want to look at a party platform, go look at the Constitution Party of Ohio's platform. I mean, if you find anything in there you don't agree with, I'll be stunned. I mean, it's a beautiful piece of work, and those people work their butts off to do it. And so one of the things that I look at is when I find a principled person who can't run within the party, because they'll attack them, I'm going to move them towards the Constitution Party because they have ballot access, and have them run and hopefully try to get independents and other conservatives to vote for them and build it that way. Again, I just want a choice. Yeah.
But Tom, you identified something beyond this system. It's something I've been fighting about and a huge critic of for a long time is the caucus system. Because it puts way too much power in way too few people's hands. And I become very unpopular when I bring that up.
Oh, I know you
We
are.
happen to be in control. But when we're not, of course, then I'm oh yeah, you're right. But a prime example is Harry Reid controlling basically everything in the Senate.
Yeah.
And he's one of 100. Now, the framers of the Constitution and our government never, ever envisioned that type of control.
Right.
In fact, the whole debate during the Constitution, going from the Articles of Confederation to that, was to not put too much power into any one person's hand. Even the debate about the executive, even though you had George Washington sitting there presiding over the Constitution, he was very, very reticent to ever even talk about it or weigh in on it because he did not want that kind of power.
Sure.
And didn't think anybody should have that kind of power. And so that's just the president. But we put so much power into one person's hands in the Senate and in the House, and we've done it at the state legislature.
See, and
That's
so
that's the place we need to.
there's the systemic issues, okay? So
That's
for
what we
instance,
need to change.
this idea of endorsing in primaries, that just makes no sense, except if you want to control your power, okay? You should let everybody that can run in the primary, because what do we want? Choice.
Well, but
Okay.
I'll have to disagree, because we've had Democrat plans.
Right, exactly, and they
So
try to undermine it, and this is the values.
Correct.
This is where the values comes in, okay? But my point is this, when you look at the system as it is, okay, and you look at this caucus system, people say to me, how did the Democrats stay as a block throughout that CR?
Right.
Throughout that CR, now come on, like I said, I don't think